How are you guys? I'm sure we are all in a good health. Before I start, have you guys know me already? There is a saying that if you don't know a person, how can you love that person? Therefore, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Shakila Dhiananda Ramadhani, and you can call me Shakila. I was born on 27 November in Magelang, and right now I'm working as the education expert. And in this opportunity, standing in front of you all, I will tell you some of my words about the reason why national exam should be stopped. Following this statement from the Ministry of Education, Nadiem Makarim, about his corner banned national exam in early 2021. Before I start, I'll tell you about what is national exam first. What is the national exam? The national exam is one way to decide whether students will proceed in the next level of their education or not through a series of tests done within a 3-day period. This exam has the same level of difficulties for rural and urban students. Ironically, there are still schools in Indonesia, especially those in rural areas, that do not receive the same level of education as those in the urban centers such as Jakarta. The first, students' understanding towards a lesson cannot be measured alone through the national exam. The national exam test results only show short-term memory scores. Memorizing of materials doesn't show long-term understanding of such subject material. Students will not be able to apply what they have learned in school to real-life learning situation if they are trained to only use their short-term memory skills. Long-term memory skills need to be developed further through summative assessment techniques that a regular classroom teacher can apply more accurately to a learner profile than a national exam. Another factor to consider is the national exam does not take into consideration that not all students learn in different ways. According to Gartner's theory of multiple intelligence, there are different types of learners such as bodily kinesthetic or special learners. Also, the national exam does not make educational accommodation for special needs students who have mild to moderate cognitive or physical impairments such as students with attention deficit disorder, dyslexia, or dysgraphia. Secondly, the demands to meet an unacceptable scheduled exercise such as the national exam can make the students physically unprepared during testing days. Their regular school and home routines are disrupted for the sake of cramming for an exam. The lack of sleep combined with poor diet affects a student's academic performance. Increased consumption of junk food to provide a short-term energy boost instead of consuming more healthy food choices has been attributed to decreased physical and mental performance. The most advantageous condition is to have students physically and mentally ready to write an exam. However, in the beginning of the third grade of high school, all students must join an extra course in order to increase their score and are expected to reach the highest one by the time of the national exam. This increased expectation from both parents and teachers put an increased burden on younger students in particular because they have yet to learn how to deal with stress more effectively compared to older students. A not uncommon approach of a young child is to practice avoidance. They may avoid doing the extra course by spending more time with their friends, getting into trouble at school, or feigning illness in order to relieve pent-up stress. For example, even if the students are willing to join the extra course, their time of sleeping will be lessened. The result is poor academic performance in regular school activities leading up to and sometime after the exam is over. Thirdly, the security of the national exams question sheets has become into question by many people, such as parents and educators. The leaking of the question sheet made has occurred before, and even a few educational institutions could be suspected of selling the question sheets to earn more money. The probability of increased exam cheating is heightened by this very possible phenomenon. For example, every morning during the national exam week, almost all students gather in one place and wait for the answer key that will be sent to their phones. It is still unclear who is the sender, but the students could surmise, and rightly so, that it is from the private institution itself and not from government education representative. This happens almost every year during the national exam week. Stopping the national exam will reduce the possibility of cheating and eventually will increase a learner's ability of understanding lessons and transfer newly acquired knowledge into his or her long-term memory. In conclusion, the nation of continuing with a national exam should be reviewed. The reasons for such action as outlined in this paper is students' understanding towards the lessons, students' physical and mental condition when doing the national exam, and the security of the national exams question sheets. With these issues alone, it shows concerns about why the national exam should be reconsidered or even banned. That's all for my speech. And as human being, I realized that I cannot avoid the mistakes. So I apologize to you all, and I don't forget to say thank you so much for your attention.